This is so exciting. Oh, but also so scary. Oh, it's so interesting. Okay, because I usually don't see myself here on the screen that I'm looking at. But I want to make sure that if anybody does show up, that I can see that there's somebody in the chat, you know? This is so wild. Okay, so this is what a stream looks like. This is what a stream looks like. Let me see. I don't even know what the volume actually sounds like right now. I'm hoping that it's, that it's a good quality. Yeah. Okay, so. Hello, Cyber Reapers. Hello, Cyber Reapers. I'm gonna be honest, I don't expect anybody to show up to this live, so don't worry about that. If you're seeing this after the fact, too, welcome. Thank you for being here. And, yeah, I guess just, it's giving me notifications of things. So, sorry if I I'm unused to this. This is my very first live stream for any channel that I've ever done, and I've made a few YouTube channels, taken a stab at, different types of content, but this is my very first live thing. It's a little scary because it's ASMR as well, but I'll do my very best to, speak in such a way where I don't make any weird sounds or loud sounds. And if I really botch this video, I guess I could always delete it. But my main reasoning for doing this is that I wanted to kind of know about how live streams work before ever getting to the point where there's a lot of people maybe expecting me to do it well. If ever, for whatever reason, that people are interested in a live either Q&A or a live ASMR kind of like this, I wanted to be comfortable and familiar with the actual software part and the setting up and everything. To know what the computer screen looks like that I'm looking at, the microphone setup to the phone setup and everything. So I think I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty comfortable with it right now. So I'll probably just, do kind of how I usually do and make this about a 30-minute video. Depending, if somebody shows up, I'll interact with them probably, but depending on what they feel comfortable with, I guess, But for right now, I'm just kind of doing a bit of a check-in, because, yeah. So, for anybody who's seen my channel before, these lights are new, so the background is different. I also typically, do edits to make the video look darker than what it actually is recorded as. That way, it's a little darker on your screen, and hopefully less abrasive if you're trying to go to sleep. But also I kind of like the style of the lights here, because it gives me a bit of a hair light, and it makes everything kind of easier to see. I don't know though what would be your preference, So I think I will try it out on some future videos, try this lighting, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. They're tiny little penguins, by the way, each of these little lights. They're little penguins. I received these penguin string lights as a Christmas gift, either last Christmas or the one before, and they were just in a box for some time, and I didn't take them out because I really am only now really digging into getting all of my stuff in my room organized after coming back from college, because combining 2 rooms into one is kind of a lot, or at least it is for me, for someone who really loves material and has a hard time letting go of things. So it's just taken me a while to work through some like the piles piles of things that I have around my room. But now I finally have floor space for the first time in a while. A lot of floor space that I can actually move around in, and I love it. And now I have just like a box of things to go through. And while going through that, I found these lights. They're battery powered, so I can just like switch them on and off and change the batteries. And now I can read in my bed very easily. I can just sit in the corner and open up a book, and my eyesight doesn't have to pay for it. And I love that so much because I love reading at night. But usually I would have to read on the edge of the bed or somewhere not in my room or on the floor. Sometimes I would do that too. But now I can read just in the back corners of my bed as well, which is more comfy. So, yeah. Alright. Another reason, though, why I decided this would be a good week for trying out a live stream is that I don't actually have a book to talk to you about yet. Well, I can give you a little bit of a sneak peek. Because I did read a book this week. I just haven't written all of my notes out. So, trying to keep it quiet. It's hard with the library books sometimes. But yes, Roar of the Lambs by Jameson Shee. Very good book. I absolutely loved it. And you'll probably hear me talk about it next week. But the reason this one took a little longer, well, there's a couple reasons. I'll tell you the first one, though, is there is a lot of translating I had to do for this book because there's a entity in this book that speaks in a language that the characters don't understand. But what the characters realize is actually that language is just a cipher, or it can be deciphered using a code. So for the letter A, that actually would translate to English as the letter U, for example. And oh my gosh, I could tell you multiple without having to look at the key anymore because I spent yesterday translating all of the portions that required a cipher. And it was so much fun. I felt like I was in my Latin class again doing translations. Because the way that I did it, of writing it out on the page and then filling in beneath and filling in the translation beneath and figuring out what was going on and what was being said. Super interesting. I'll get more into it whenever I talk about the book itself. But just know that it took a few hours of me going back through the book and finding the passages that required translating so that I could understand the book even more. And there's just a whole another level of context that translating it gives you. I haven't looked online yet to see how many other people have translated it, but I really wanted to do it myself so that, for one, it was just more fun that way, I think. And another thing, I wanted to be able to flip through the pages and understand the context of each passage, because these translated pieces, they're all throughout the whole book. So I wanted to know exactly what was being said and in response to what, within what context. And there's so much that becomes really, really interesting when you realize what's being said in the translated portions. It's been so long since I've had so much fun with a book like this in a way that is like beyond the page or beyond just like reading through it once, because I read through this again in a different way, and I felt so like this was just so much fun. But I did that yesterday, and I was thinking, okay, do I quickly try to do my notes today and do a video and everything? But then I went, no, actually, I think I want a little bit more time to be able to compose the notes. So that's why we're going with this live stream instead of me talking completely about that book. But you will hear me talking about that book pretty soon, probably next week. Oh, it was so good. And I know, I'm glad I picked this one up. I read a couple other books by Jameson Shee before this one, and I've talked about those too as well. I Feed Her to the Beast and the Beast is Me, and sorry, my throat. I thought it was going to make a weird noise. I'm trying to remember the second book's name. I Feed Her to the Beast and the Beast is Me. I Am the Dark That Answers When You Call. That's the second book. There we go. Sorry. So those two books were really good. So I was going into this going like, oh, okay, I'm hoping this one's going to be good too. And it was. Yeah. Okay, but enough about that book for right now. I will talk about it later. Another thing, though, is that I'm a little behind because I had to DNF a book this week as well. And if you don't know, DNF means do not finish. It's essentially when you start reading a book and at any point in the story you decide to just stop. And I don't do that very often. Usually because even if a book doesn't vibe with me, sometimes there will be like some sliver of hope in my mind that it'll like suddenly pick up and get really good to me at some point in the story. So usually I try to like get through as much of it as I can, even when I have doubts about it. And most books I don't even have doubts about, because most books that I pick, I usually am pretty good about picking books that I will like. But yeah, sometimes a premise will sound really good, and even like this book was written by an author who I loved all their other books that I've read, and this one I was going, oh, okay, let's read this one. You know, I've heard good things about it. But unfortunately, I just really did not vibe with this book, and that's okay. I'm not going to talk about the book itself. I mean, I'm not going to say what it is. But as I was reading, I got about a third of the way through, and it's an enemies to lovers kind of a book where the two main characters, there's the male main character and the female main character in this case, they both really despise each other and want the other dead. And by a third of the way through, I still wanted the male main character dead. I was completely rooting for the female main character, even though both of their sides were being shown. But there was just nothing redeemable about the male main character in my mind. And I don't know, maybe he does get better at some point, like halfway through the story or something, but a third of the way through, he was just awful to the main character with not even a slim chance of redemption from anything I saw. He wasn't even likable, was like a problem for me. Because I can be on board with the journey, you know, if there's some likability to the enemies to lovers romance, but if even in the enemies part there's nothing likable about their connection, I'm just I'm not on board. And so I jumped ship. Ship. There we go. For some reason I just couldn't get that out of my mouth, huh? I jumped ship. If you see edits in my videos, by the way, it's usually because I stammer so much sometimes that I just go, you know what, I'm gonna cut that out. Or it's an interruption, like my cat coming into the room and making kind of a loud noise, which he hasn't yet. He might still. I'm giving you a warning about that. Or the third option, I make a weird noise. Like my throat makes the noise or something, and I go, alright, I'm just gonna edit that out. Usually I'm pretty good, though. smooth as I can, but sometimes I just, don't quite do as well as I wanna. Yeah, yeah. So. IDNF that book. I got about a third of the way through, and I was going, wow, I think I just can't take this anymore. Because I got to a point where I was skimming through the pages looking for a spot where the male main character stopped annoying me, because he was being really, he just violated the female main character's consent more than I think is appropriate, and the way it was kind of written was kind of dubious in how much consent she was actually giving. But I really didn't like it, and so I was going, I feel like this relationship is icky and I don't want to root for it. So I gave up. Um, but unfortunately, that meant I was going, all right, do I want to try to read something this week, or do I want to give myself a break from reading, like a few days, a week or so? I actually ended up picking up another book because I was going, no, I really want to not feel like I need a break from reading just because I don't feel like reading a specific book. I didn't want to feel like, or I didn't want to feel demotivated to read something else, I guess. So I went right back into reading and I read this book that I just showed you. And really enjoyed that. So that's really cool. And once I do the video for that, I've got 2 more library books that I just checked out recently that I'll be able to read. And yeah, I'm looking forward to those. I'm jumping around genres a little bit too, so that'll be fun to talk about those. Hopefully, we'll see if maybe I don't know, maybe more DNFs are in my future. Who knows? That's me trying to prevent my throat from making a frog sound. I don't know why it does sometimes, especially when I'm recording videos. But yeah, I knew coming on here and going live, I was going, watch as I make weird throat noises. So far, though, I think it's been okay. I haven't heard anything on my end, at least, and I hope that that is the same on your end. I hope the video quality is decent, too. But yeah, who knows? I guess I'll know once I, finish up and listen to this. But yeah, it is kind of fun that I just happen to be, like, ready right at 10:30 for this. Because before this, earlier today, I was gonna see if I could incorporate maybe doing this kind of check-in style video earlier without the live stream. But just based on plans and such, it ended up being where I got home maybe about 20. Can I do math right now? 15 plus 20, 35. No, that's not it. What am I? Wow, I'm really tired. I can't do. Okay, yeah, 20 plus 15. That is really 35 minutes ago. It just doesn't look like that. It should be, based on the time right now. Okay, 35 minutes ago. Was about when I got back home. So the whole day was really filled with stuff that I did. I went to the store. I watched a movie with my dad and my brother. I went door dashing. I went out to eat at a pizza place with my dad. Then I came back here, and so really got back here around like 10:15 p.m. And so I really just sat down to do this. Pretty, just lots of events, and I went, all right, let's do this. Yeah. Yeah. I'm really happy so far with how this channel has been. It's been pretty quiet and just kind of, talking about books in general and such. And I hope y'all are enjoying it. It seems like based on like some of the comments I've been getting that yeah, it's been going pretty good. I hope so. And thank you to everybody who leaves a comment, and thank you to everybody who likes the videos. To everybody who likes to lurk, watch the videos, and don't necessarily leave a comment or a like or whatever. I do that sometimes where I'm like, I like to think about it that way. I kind of lurk on a channel, and I'm just, I'm there, I'm watching, and I'm supporting, but I don't necessarily like make my presence known, that kind of a thing. So I appreciate anybody here. And yeah, I'm just kind of talking about books. If you want me to talk about particular books, let me know. I think you can kind of get a sense for my taste. Generally, I will read books that are written by marginalized authors, and if it's written by a marginalized author, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like it, with like very few exceptions. And I'm pretty good with most genres. I think the only one I'm not really interested in, as far as I know, is erotica. And like, I completely support anybody who wants to read erotica. That is awesome. I know one of my closest friends has definitely recommended some stuff to me. I just don't quite vibe with it, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm too asexual to really get it. I don't know. But, I think anything you want to read, read it. I'm fully open to supporting that. But in terms of my tastes, I think, yeah, I generally will read almost anything. While I do tend to choose stuff that is more in the speculative realm, I definitely read contemporary, I read romance, I read historical. I feel like it just kind of depends on what I see on my social media feed, what I see recommended to me by the library, that kind of stuff. I'll read young adult and adult. I do read a lot of young adult though, because like there isn't sex in those books most of the time, or if there is, it's off page or very little description. And that again is kind of going back to me like just not really being interested in reading about sex. I don't know. If it's in there a little bit, like, fine, whatever. Um, but yeah. So you kind of know my tastes in terms of books and stuff. So if you have a book that you want to recommend, that you want me to talk about, that you think I'll enjoy, then awesome, I will read it. I think I won't talk about books that I wouldn't give 5 stars. So that's the only reason I'm like hesitant to ask for recommendations, because I don't want to I don't want you to feel like I am putting down your favorite book, that kind of thing, if I don't vibe with it. But if you're okay with that, the potential risk of me not making a video about your book, and you're still good with recommending it, then I will definitely read the recommendations. And yeah. So yeah. Is there anything else? Any other updates kind of thing that I want to bring up? So, I mean, I already addressed the live stream aspect. I already addressed the penguins falling over. That's fine. I'm thinking about naming this penguin also, based off of a book character. I don't know if I should name him like Ryland Grace from Hail Mary, or if I should pick like another astronaut name. Project Hail Mary is on my mind because I just read it. Maybe I should read some more space books. I don't know. Yeah, if you have the space penguin there, or the astronaut penguin. Let me figure out how to move my thumb in mirror mode. Yeah. Also, oh my, the screen has been on my glasses the whole time. Well, I'm sorry about that. Usually usually the screen actually isn't in front of me like this. It's usually over to the side. My throat is making digestive noises, I guess. Huh. Well, sorry about that. We're already 25, 26 minutes in or so, and I just noticed the screen being on my glasses. I guess that's alright. But sorry about that if that affects if that makes the quality worse for you. Yeah, I guess Penguin over here has been judging me the whole time. Penguin on my right, I mean. There's also the little bit out of frame, the little penguin over there from the zoo. Yeah, I try to do the whole setup behind me to where they stand up. They like to fall though, especially as I, like sit back against them. They like to like fall and go in different directions. Yeah, is what it is, I suppose. Yeah. I don't know. Okay, I talked about, library books. I talked about books I read this week. Mentioned I've got stuff prepared for next week. Talked about the lights. Talked about the live stream. I don't know. Oh, it's about to end too, or I'm about to log off, I think, because I'll keep it around 30 minutes, not to take up too much of your time if you want to watch. Yeah. I don't know. I'm also considering if I want to do any more videos, kind of like what I did before with creating kind of ambiance videos where I go out somewhere and just like record the sounds around me and I sit there and read, and you're able to see like the background, like last time I did with the we were beneath a bridge and I was reading next to the bayou, and ducks came along about partially through the video. I wonder if I want to do something like that again. I'd want to incorporate rain, I think. Yeah, if anybody, well, I don't know if anybody be interested in another video kind of like that. That one was kind of a test video as well, kind of like this one, of seeing like, okay, can I do something like that? Logistically, figure out how to do it, and then maybe I can try to do better ones in the future. Because the types of videos I tend to do very much are like talking about books primarily. But I try to throw in just kind of, some other content in case it's, I don't know, in case it's fun, in case it's helpful for relaxing, or I don't know, I guess for fun. So that's kinda, yeah, what I try to do sometimes, and this video falls under that as well. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and I don't know if anybody's interested in my writing. It's okay if you're not. Um, but in terms of updating on that, it's been slow going because I have to raise the money, or save up the money to get my second book edited. It's ready for the professional edit. I just have to be able to pay the editor, and I don't have enough in my budget to do that yet. So I have to actually, DoorDash enough to be able to make the amount that I need, or around the estimated amount that I'll need, which I think is going to be around $600 for the editor who edited my first book. So $500 to $600 or so is probably for this next book to be edited. And once that happens, then I can actually start getting the ball rolling of getting this book published. Do I know when that's going to happen? No. I hope that it's going to be early in 2026, that it's going to be published by then. But I don't know. And it's somewhat frustrating because that book is ready to go for the professional edit, and I have a third book that is pretty close to being ready for an edit as well. Which means now money is really just the only thing that is backing up the process. So that's mildly annoying for me, but it's okay. I'll raise the money I need. It'll happen. It just is a matter of time. So the first book will have a sequel. The sequel is already... It's got a draft, and that draft has been heavily edited by me. Now I need somebody else to edit it. So it's coming along. And I'm pretty happy about that. It's just gonna take some time. Yeah. But I feel like it's mildly frustrating, but at the same time, I feel like it'll happen whenever it happens. I'm not dependent on the author related stuff for income, and I'm thankful for that because of, how slow going it is. So I'm just thankful that I even went through the entire publishing process for one book at all, and that book 2 is feasible, and that I've got a lot of other books that I have like on the the assembly line. They're getting ready to go. So really just funding is the only thing that's kind of slowing me down, because I definitely have the work ethic to keep putting in time to edit and write. I'm actually working on another book right now that I'm writing the first draft of, just because I don't want to feel like my writing is getting too stale, just because I'm waiting for the edits on another book. Yeah. But I've been door dashing a lot to get this to work. Yeah. And that's actually been kind of fun. I do like door dashing, believe it or not. Despite the risk of getting in a car accident being a lot higher for me the more hours I put in. Yeah. Anyway. I get to relax here at least and talk about books. So I'm really thankful that you're here and you're listening, supporting the channel, supporting me. Yeah. And also, supporting yourself by hopefully relaxing because of these videos. And if you're trying to go to sleep, hopefully these help you go to sleep. I use ASMR for both, both relaxing and going to sleep. And, sometimes I also will listen to a video and fall asleep during it, but then I wake up later and I go, wait, I want to actually listen to the whole thing because it was interesting. Especially when it's language learning related ASMR videos. I have a whole playlist of language learning stuff. And it's relaxing and I fall asleep, but I also want to hear what they have to say. I want to learn the stuff. So I like that ASMR can be very it can have a lot of different uses. My mind is coming up blank for what phrase I exactly want to say. It has a lot of, well, it has variety in how you can consume it, I guess, maybe. I hope you know what I'm saying here. Yeah. I hope you can hear what I'm saying also. I really don't know what you're hearing. Yeah. Usually I go back and edit these videos so that my voice is boosted up, because usually it's very quiet. So I have to duplicate the audio track multiple times in 2 different programs, GarageBand and Premiere Pro, in order to get the voice to be about where I would want it to be, so that you can hear it with just, on my computer it's just one is what I try to aim for. Yeah. But I don't know. I'll have to see. Yeah. Yeah. So this is me live, uninterrupted. I imagine you can see that I am as rambly as ever. Um, it's it's definitely me. um, yeah. Well, this was pretty fun. I'm glad that I now am kind of over the intimidation barrier. Um, having to do with live streams, so now I feel a little more comfortable. If ever this comes up again, where it seems like a good time to do an ASMR live stream, um, it seems like a good skill to know how, I guess. Um, and sorry, I'm seeing myself here, which is fun, even though I know you're seeing me looking down. Because there's you and there's me that I see. Um, yeah, it's very interesting, very fun, especially because it's mirrored for me as well. Um, yeah. Is there anything else that I was gonna say? Well, apparently my penguin is tired, so I think that's maybe my cue to wrap this up, huh? Okay, okay. Should I just do kind of the usual? Alright, there won't be a fade out though, because I have to click a button to stop it. Okay, alright, thank you so much for listening. You are an awesome listener, and I hope that whatever you do next, wherever you go next, that it is fun and or relaxing and or worthwhile to you. And ideally, I'll